There she is. Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to call the Tuesday, April 5th, 2022 meeting of the Moorhead Public Service Commission to order. Commissioner Heidi Durand will be participating in this meeting via interactive television from the address at 3625 22nd Avenue South, Moorhead, Minnesota 56560, which location is open and accessible to the public during the meeting. Commissioner Joel Paulson will be participating in this meeting via interactive television from the Minneapolis Airport located at 4300 Glumac Drive, Gate F14, St. Paul, Minnesota 55111, which location is open and accessible to the public during the meeting. Customers wishing to address the Commission for items that are not on the agenda, please fill out the request to speak form, which is located in the back table, and give it to the administrative assistant in attendance at the meeting prior to speaking. Customers wishing to address the Commission regarding a specific agenda item other than the rate hearings will be given an opportunity during the discussion of that item. Each customer will be given 3 minutes to address the Commission. We are here to listen. Any follow-up or feedback will be done by email on anything that cannot be resolved this evening. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Paulson, seconded by Hendrickson to approve the meeting's agenda. Hendrickson?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Durand?
Yes.
Thompson, yes. Now I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion by Durand, seconded by Paulson to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hendrickson?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Durand?
Yes.
Thompson, yes. Are there any customers to be heard? Seeing none. Old business, any old business?
I do have a couple recognitions to
Okay,
provide
great.
tonight.
I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. In the last couple of weeks, Moorhead Public Service has received 3 awards from American Public Power Association. We received the RP3 designation, which is Reliable Public Power Provider. That's a platinum level, and that's a 3-year designation, so we'll have that for the next 3 years. We've actually had that since 2013. We've gotten it on 3-year increments since 2013. So kudos to the staff for that and crews and all they do. Along with that, we've also received a Safety Award of Excellence for 2021 and a Certificate of Excellence in Reliability as well too. And that one actually will be going out in a press release tomorrow.
Okay, great, thank you.
So
Well done. Okay. Any old business? Okay, seeing none. Reports. City Council, Mr. Hendrickson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of things. City Council did pass the Onward Moorhead initiative, which is a comprehensive future outlook for Moorhead. You can read about it in the March 28, 2022 agenda for the City Council. And usually agendas aren't your favorite reading material, but this one's a pretty good one. There's a lot of stuff in there that makes a lot of sense. So it's excited about Moorhead and the future goals of Moorhead. So, and the City Council voted on the ward boundaries and the election polling places, and Ward 2 and Ward 4 are affected by this. Ward 4 has actually gone a little bit further south, and Ward 2 has gone a little bit further west. So, and that is in the council packet too. So, if you're in Wards 2 and 4, I'd take a look at, and it's mentioned on our city website, but it is in the agenda too. So, but those boundaries have changed quite a bit. So, if you're in Ward 2 and 4, I'd urge you to review those boundaries. That's all I have.
Thank you very much for the report. Any Public Service Commission reports? Okay, General Manager's report. Mr. Schmidt.
Sure. I have a couple items in the agenda tonight, or in my report. The Missouri River Energy Services Sustainability Report is included in that. Again, we get 50% of our power from Missouri River, so that's part of our portfolio of purchased power we receive. The other 50%, of course, comes from Western Area Power Administration. Just a good report just to review and take a look at. Just good information on the overall process that Missouri River has taken to move to a more renewable portfolio or diverse portfolio as well. So other than that, Western Area Power Administration had a proposed rate process meeting on March 11th. They're looking at currently having a roughly 16.3% rate increase. Overall, if you think about it, we do get 50% from Missouri River, 50% from WAPA for power. However, the cost is 1/3, 2/3. So 1/3 being WAPA, 2/3 being Missouri River. So if you take a look at the overall cost, potentially could see a 2 to 3% rate increase that we might need on the electric side as we go through our budget process this fall. Again, this is the beginning of the process, and just like our normal process, there's review and comments and things like that. I did include in the GM report the pertinent slides from that meeting, just for your viewing pleasure. Again, when it comes to WAPA, there's two pieces to their rates. There's the drought piece, and then there's their base rate. Right now, the base increase is very small, 0.47 mils is kind of what they're looking at, and roughly a 3.44 mil rate increase. Now, a mil is about a tenth of a cent. So the drought adder is actually the bigger component of that. A lot of that is dealing with drought conditions in the west. The Rocky Mountains aren't getting as much snow over the last couple of years. So it's been about 6-7 years since we actually had the drought adder included in our rate. It then dropped off over a few years, and now they're looking at bringing it back as part of this rate process. Again, WAPA has to do a rate process at least every 5 years. They can do it more frequent if extreme situations come up, and with some drought stuff going on, this is actually the 5th year, so they're actually looking at doing it at this point in time. So more to come on that, and we'll keep you apprised as more information is available. Other than that, of course, our normal legislative updates, and then I'm going to have Mark Pritchard come up. We are going to be doing a presentation with the City of Dilworth Planning Commission based on Buffalo Aquifer and where that's at. Again, trying to get more information out to the group. So, Mark, I'll let you kind of speak to that.
Thank you, Travis. Mark Pritchard, Water Plant Supervisor. As Travis had mentioned here just a moment ago, MPS has been invited to provide a presentation on the Buffalo Aquifer to the City of Dilworth Planning Commission tomorrow, April the 6th, for the purpose of education and to discuss resilient water supply going into the future. So as we may remember, last August and September, Water Division staff, General Manager Schmidt, multiple commissioners, legal counsel, all attended a series of Clay County Planning and Zoning meetings and Board of Commissioner meetings to discuss protections on the Buffalo Aquifer relative to potential land use changes out in the area. So MPS, we went out and discussed the issues that we had with it and how to, ensure the protections for the aquifer were maintained. And this is an education piece to kind of provide more context to those meetings that we had last summer and to verify that the protections are going to be maintained going into the future and that everyone understands what those steps will mean. So it should be a good meeting tomorrow, and we'll be, I'm sure, fielding very many questions on it, but that'll be, again, a good education piece to make sure that everyone is kind of on the same page as far as aquifer protection is concerned.
Thank you. Any questions by the commissioners?
Yeah, I don't know if this is so much question, but I want to say thank you for doing that. I think it's really important that individuals over on the Dilworth side, their city councilors and their city staff are aware of that aquifer and what we've done to try to maintain and protect and keep it safe. So I thank you for going over there and doing that. Can we get a report back on questions or conversations that you receive tomorrow night, just so that we're aware of any concerns they had or any questions that they had, or any potential for further conversations that we may need to have with them?
Yes, certainly that can be provided at a future commission meeting.
Okay, thank you. They could just be under old business, would be fine.
Okay, we'll make a note of that.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
That's all I have as well.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to accept the general manager's report.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Duran, seconded by Hendrickson to approve the general manager's report. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Item number 10, task order number 5.
Sure. I'll have Matt Marks come up. He's our project engineer. He's working on this project. Again, this is the task order with MBN Engineering to assist in the design review for the relocation of our 115 transmission line across the Fargo-Moorhead diversion project. So Matt, I'll have you speak to it.
Matt Marks, project engineer. So back in, well, this has been going on for a couple years, working with the Metro Flood Diversion Authority to put together a memorandum of understanding with Moorhead Public Service for the relocation of our 115 transmission line, which goes right over the site of where they'll be putting in the stormwater diversion channel, or the FM diversion, as it's kind of called colloquially. The Flood Diversion Authority is using a private-public partnership, or a P3. So they will be working with a developer for the design and the construction of that stormwater diversion channel. We are also then having them put together and propose the design for the transmission structures in order to, basically we're looking at a 1,100, 1,200 foot span, so that there are no structures within that diversion channel. That's a longer span than anything we have currently on our transmission line. So it's going to require some pretty large structures. So they will be putting together, their developer will be putting together the design for the new structures to get over that channel. And then those will be submitted to Moorhead Public Service for review and approval, as well as just inspection after the construction is done. We've worked with MBN Engineering on the past for transmission line projects through West Fargo and Fargo, as well as in town here in Moorhead. So having them do the approval of this design work out well for us. They've put a not-to-exceed price of $3,000 for the work that will be done, just reviewing that design. But yeah, this is part of a larger project. The relocation that is necessary due to that stormwater diversion will be reimbursed to Moorhead Public Service. However, we are moving our line a little further to the south so that it is along 32nd Avenue instead of being out kind of in the middle of farmland there. This will allow us better access in the future to our line for maintenance or repairs. So any additional costs that are due just to the relocation of that line to the south, Moorhead Public Service will be responsible for. We do have money budgeted for those additional costs. Are there any questions on this task order?
Questions, commissioners? What was the cost again?
Um,
The cost that we'll end up paying because of the relocation?
We don't have a
bid?
design submitted to us, so we don't know what the
Okay.
cost will be for the structures or anything, but the cost to MBN, they're expecting $3,000 or less just for the work that they'll have to do.
Okay, great, thanks.
We've budgeted $250,000 for
Okay.
our portion.
All right,
And that might have to change
Right.
depending upon construction costs, but.
that's a
should be-
ballpark. I was just sort of
Yep.
looking for a ballpark figure. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Hendrickson.
Thank you. And you said it's along 32nd Avenue in Fargo?
Yeah, this would be, this is actually on the West Fargo side.
West Fargo?
Yeah, just west of Cheyenne Street.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Paulson,
if I may,
please.
I'll be abstaining from this vote due to my position with the Diversion Authority.
Okay, thank you, duly noted. We didn't get a motion in a second, did we? No. I'd entertain a motion then?
Can I ask a question?
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Would I have to abstain too if I'm on the diversion board? Just want to cover every angle here.
Yes, you probably should abstain if you're on the diversion board. We don't have the ability with 2 abstaining to pass a resolution right now.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
I can move to table until we have a quorum.
Chair?
Yes.
Matt, is there a timeline that this needs to be completed by? Is it fine if we table it, or is there?
I think we should be good to table it. They haven't even started the design process yet. So we should be able to.
Great. So if you'd like to make a motion to table this, that would be great.
Yep, I'll move to table until our next meeting where we will have sufficient votes with 2 members abstaining.
Okay, that will take all of us here. Okay. I have a second to that? I have to oh, that's right, there's nobody else to do it. I'll second that motion to table. I will approve it, just like we would normally approve it. Can they vote on approving the tabling?
We really don't have any choice but to table it, so
Okay.
I don't mind if they vote on that. They're not voting one way
They're
or
not
the
voting
other
on
on
the
anything of
issue.
merit.
Right.
It's just procedural.
Okay, so we're now voting on the motion to table item number 10. Hendrickson,
Yes.
Paulson,
Yes.
Durand,
Yes,
Thompson, yes. Okay, item number 11. Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Are you up for?
Oh, I'm up for
item
11
number
as well.
11? Okay. Temporary transformer and DOE tap station, substation.
I'll let Matt speak to this one again. Go ahead, Matt.
Sure. So this is for the temporary transformer. We went out for bids for used and in-stock transformer to be able to get something in place, second transformer at Moorhead tap substation to replace the damaged transformer from last summer's storm. The new transformer is not expected until 2023 for delivery. So in order to make sure we have the appropriate reliability and redundancy, we'll be asking to approve this bid or award this bid for a used transformer. Total purchase price, including the shipment and the turnkey getting it installed at the substation, is $845,000. The specifications gave 2 options, one for a rental price and the other for a purchase price. There were several upfront costs for the rental because we still have to ship it and get it in service. So with that detail, along with the fact that by purchasing, we give ourselves the option to keep it for the full amount of time we need it until that new transformer can be delivered and installed, and then sell it at the end of that period. or we can even hold on to this transformer as a spare in case our other transformer that we have in service at Moorhead Tap, if we need to replace that one, we would have a spare already on hand, so it kind of gives us an extra a backup in case the need arises. We had given an engineer's estimate back when we approved the specifications. However, that was just based on the purchase cost of the transformer, not the installation costs. So those costs that came in for the purchase of the transformer were actually a little under the engineer's estimate for those costs. It's just the addition of the installation costs that puts us at that $845,000. Any questions on that?
Doesn't look like it, Matt. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second.
We have a motion by Paulson, seconded by Hendrickson to approve the bid, to award the bid for the temporary transformer. Discussion? Seeing none. Hendrickson,
Yes.
Duran,
Yes.
Paulson,
Yes.
Thompson, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 14. Rescind award of bid item number 9.
Sure. This is related to a bid that was awarded earlier this year, bid item 9. I'm going to have Mark Pritchard come up and speak to the item. It's related to liquid oxygen. I got that right. Had some conflicts with the apparent low bidder, them being able to deliver to both the wastewater and water facilities. So Mark, I'll continue to explain the situation.
Thank you, Travis. Mark Pritchard, Water Plant Supervisor. As Travis had mentioned here a moment ago, we did receive some fairly late notice from one of our vendors who had been awarded a bid on February the 1st from this commission, stating that they were unable and unwilling to supply the wastewater plant with liquid oxygen due to a couple different factors. We did immediately convene a few conference calls to not only understand the reasoning behind it, but then also to see if we were able to put together a short-term solution so that the consistency of chemical shipments would be able to be maintained as we found a more permanent solution to their issues that were raised. After those conversations were initially completed, we were finding that we weren't able to fix the issues that were brought up in a timely manner. So the water plant staff talked with the wastewater plant staff to see if they were comfortable basically reverting to the next lowest responsible bidder that we received information for in January. After that initial plan was put in play, we did a quick check with legal to make sure that we were on the right track, and then we immediately initiated conversations with that next lowest bidder, and they were able to secure a commitment to us that same afternoon that we had spoken with them for the bid price that they submitted on January the 19th without any alteration, meaning that even though the diesel price has rocketed up substantially since January, they were willing to honor that initial bid price, which was very nice. So after we found out that that backup supply was able to be initiated, we did talk with the apparent bid winner and basically informed them that due to the constraints of the timing and the inability to supply the wastewater plant, we would intend to rescind their bid and award it to this next lowest bidder, to Lindy Incorporated. They are the current bid, the current contract owner that concluded on April the 1st. They did basically verbally commit to supply any of our needs up and until we can get the formal approvals taken care of. So they were very, very kind in making sure that we were able to get what we needed. The cost implications for this one, before I forget here, it's a very minimal cost adder above and beyond what was originally awarded in February. For both facilities, it's roughly calculated out to be $2,500 over the course of the year. So it's a very small increase, but it is an increase that is accounted for with the existing strategy that MPS has for the higher than expected bid prices that we did receive for our other chemicals as well. So we should be all right. I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Questions, commissioners? Some heads shaking no. Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Duran, seconded by Paulson, to rescind the award for bid item number 9 and award the bid to the next lowest qualified bidder. Discussion? Seeing none. Hendrickson,
Yes.
Paulson,
Yes.
Durand,
Yes.
Thompson? Yes. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Item number 15. Closed meeting for executive session. This meeting will now be closed for, I'd entertain a motion to close this meeting as permitted by attorney-client privilege, Minnesota Statute 13D.05, Subdivision 3C, to develop or conduct offers or counteroffers for the purchase of Red River Valley Cooperative Power Association electric service territory rights and facilities for the annexed property identified as parcel number 58.988.3301.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, what do we plan for after this closed session? Are we going to take action or?
Should be no action after a closed session, so we can adjourn.
Okay. So, we have a motion, it's been seconded. It should be noted that further action is not expected in open session, therefore we will adjourn upon conclusion of executive session. Any discussion? Okay. Paulson?
Yes.
Durand?
Yes.
Hendrickson? Thompson? Yes. Thank you. We are now in closed session. And we're moving, right?
Yep.